We will never survive as a group until we get into communities and not neighborhoods. A community is I control the police, the banks, the schools, the firefighters, and I control the flow of the money. And I have no problem when I go in a Jewish neighborhood and the shop owners are Jewish, and I go into an Italian neighborhood and shop owners are Italian. I have a problem when I come in a black neighborhood and the shop owners is not me. A Korean has a right to come in and buy my shop for $30 million more than it's worth. That's good business. But if we decide that we're not going to do business with that one, then he'll have to sell it back, or she'll have to sell it back to a black person for $1 million. And then the money circulates, and that's how you change. We've been so busy dealing with the hurt and the pain and the misery and glamorizing a hand few that have made it, that we have never really looked at, like they say, your role model. If you haven't got a role model in your house, you should fall on your knees and pray to God, because something is wrong. We will never survive as a group until we get into communities and not neighborhoods. A community is I control the police, the banks, the schools, the firefighters, and I control the flow of the money. And I have no problem when I go in a Jewish neighborhood and the shop owners are Jewish, and I go into an Italian neighborhood and shop owners are Italian. I have a problem when I come in a black neighborhood and the shop owners is not me. A Korean has a right to come in and buy my shop for $30 million more than it's worth. That's good business. But if we decide that we're not going to do business with that one, then he'll have to sell it back, or she'll sell it back to a black person for $1 million. And then the money circulates, and that's how you change. We've been so busy dealing with the hurt and the pain and the misery and glamorizing a hand few that have made it, that we have never really looked at, like they say, your role model. If you haven't got a role model in your house, you should fall on your knees and pray to God, because something is wrong.
War. And those are some of the headlines. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace.
We will never survive as a group until we get into communities and not neighborhoods. A community is I control the police, the banks, the schools, the firefighters, and I control the flow of the money. And I have no problem when I go in a Jewish neighborhood and the shop owners are Jewish, and I go into an Italian neighborhood and shop owners are Italian. I have a problem when I come in a black neighborhood and the shop owners is not me. A Korean has a right to come in and buy my shop for $30 million more than it's worth. That's good business. But if we decide that we're not going to do business with that one, then he'll have to sell it back, or she'll sell it back to a black person for $1 million. And then the money circulates, and that's how you change. We've been so busy dealing with the hurt and the pain and the misery and glamorizing a hand few that have made it, that we have never really looked at, like they say, your role model. If you haven't got a role model in your house, you should fall on your knees and pray to God, because something is wrong.
All right. So a lot of people don't know who Dick Gregory is, but I think that you guys should know who Dick Gregory was. Matter of fact, the student that I just finished the interview with, She is a senior at SIUC. And she is also track. She's on track team, and she doesn't know who Dick Gregory is. So I told her to do her research, but also SIUC not doing their job either, because the students that go to SIUC should definitely know who Dick Gregory is. But that's just my thoughts. So I used to work for Dick Gregory from 2013 until he passed away in 2017. So I always say that I went to Dick Gregory University, and the last 4 years, that was my, I guess that was my wake up call to be an adult. Like we did the entertainment side, I booked all his shows. We traveled all over the country. I've been to states that I never ever thought that I would be going to, because of Dick Gregory. A lot of people love Dick Gregory. All different type of people love Dick Gregory. Whites, blacks, Asians, Indians, Africans, whites, Europeans, like everybody respected Dick Gregory, because Dick Gregory is about humanity. He was about fair, equal treatment. He was about health and wellness. He was about entrepreneurship, capitalism, just in a way that we have our own money. He was not into the sweatshops and stuff like that that's taking place in China. That's what China basically built. How China has been being built because of all of the sweatshop labor that they have over there, including Nike. So it is what it is. However, I did a interview today with a student. She's doing her thesis on Black Americans and understanding and experiencing being an American. And we did 30 minutes. And some of the questions that she asked me, one of them particularly was, do I love this country? And is there any other country that I would want a citizenship from? And I thought about it, and I was like, I really thought about it. And then I said, no, my allegiance is to this country. I love this country. I love that I know English. I love that we have the right to choose, regardless of how one side is trying to make it like we don't have the right to choose. We do. I have the right to be whatever political party I desire to be. I have the right to date whoever I want to date, as long as they're not a minor. I have the right to walk into any store that I want to go to. And even if I feel like I'm getting discriminated in some type of way, there's consequences that I can do, when it comes to fighting against it. If I feel like that, I have a right to speak my mind, even if a person doesn't like it. So yeah, I love this country. And even when I go out of the country on vacation, I'm good for a couple of days, maybe even a couple of weeks, but I always find myself missing home. So I love being American. when we got to what do I identify as, when it comes to being Black American, African American, whatever, I broke down freedmen, I broke down the Civil War, I broke down why I love being Black, a Black American due to our ancestors due to, the way that we figured it out, the way that we could make a terrible situation into something that historically has helped us pave the way to where we are now. And I think that plenty of people forget that, from the Civil War to the Tuskegee Airmen, to the Black Wall Street, to the Montgomery boycott, to the peaceful protest, the peaceful protest when we really did peacefully protest versus the ones that are pushed for a reaction, pushed, to continue to create this division. She asked me, what is one thing that I hate about America? At this point, the only thing that I dislike, and it makes me sad in America, is the political division that we're dealing with now. The hatred, the hate for this one man by the name of President Donald Trump, who has done nothing compared to other presidents that we can name. But what's the purpose of continuing to go back and forth about what Obama did, what Clinton did, what Reagan did, what Bush did, what Bush, the son of Bush did, what Biden did, if we're not going to figure out a solution, right? So when people I see like comments and stuff, and people are like, oh, okay, so what's the solution? What's the solution? What's the solution? The solution is letting people vote freely. Stop cheating in these elections. If you do not want to talk politics with certain people because you feel like their politics suck in your mind, cool. You don't have to discuss politics with that person, and that person doesn't have to discuss politics with you. But the issue what's going on now is that many Black educated people went to college, have done their research, done their work, and because the college is telling you, or this professor is telling you, that this is just the way it is, and they break down stuff that just is not true, and you guys don't look at it, you take this person's word for it because they take politics personal. You can't be any type of educator or teacher if you take politics personally. You cannot be over any type of education if you take politics personally. Socialism and communism is not good for America. Okay, and it's just that's just what it is. Also, people who come into our communities. Hold on, let me see what's going. Hello. All right. Especially people who are coming to our country that have an allegiance to their country, and they want to make their country proud by thinking that they can overturn the country where you're coming to get the most benefits. You can come over here and freely talk about how you hate America in our government, and we're supposed to accept it. And if we don't accept it, then we're fascists. What are you? You're in my country. You're in my country that I'm born and raised in, the allegiance that I have here, because you have allegiance to wherever you're from. And you feel like I'm supposed to be okay with you talking down about my country or trying to convince me that I come from one of the worst countries on earth, but you guys are here making money off of trying to indoctrinate our kids that you already do not help at all. I posted something earlier today, yesterday, about that CTU and CPS can't blame the parents. All can't keep blaming just the parents on why their kids aren't learning. I've talked to parents, I've talked to teachers, I've talked to teachers who agreed that it's not just the parents, it's the curriculum, it's the leadership. That's why I'm big on that Stacey Davis Gates, Jackson Potter, any of those type of and anybody that's underneath them and all that. They need to Nora Flanagan, all of them. They don't need to be in any supervising position jobs, because they take all this personally and literally, and you can't do that when you are teaching children. Education is supposed to be nonpartisan. You're not supposed to push a political ideology on our students when our students need to learn basic arithmetic, math, reading, comprehension skills. And then when they get a little bit older, or when you're in maybe 11th or 12th grade, actually high school, you start in 9th grade, when you break down civics, and then you break down all of civics, you break down the operations of the government, because that's the issue right now. You're not teaching these children the operations of government. You're teaching the children the operations of how you feel they should vote and see fit, because you believe in the Democratic Party, you believe in democratic socialists, you believe in communism, you believe that all we got to do is continue to join a union, and then let's get a person that's in the union and the leadership that wants to protest all day. Don't want to do no work, but want to protest and demand more funds and 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 more funds. So while our children aren't learning anything, you guys are demanding more funds, but our kids are failing. If you're a teacher, and for the past 5 years, all the kids that you have passed are majority illiterate, how is that the parents' fault? Clearly, you don't know how to teach. And you don't know how to teach because you probably don't care to teach. You don't want to teach. You've gotten comfortable. I don't know, but I do know that you can't blame every parent for 5 years of you failing kids over and over and over again, and then get mad if someone from the outside is looking in and seeing that it's a problem. CTU is a problem. Some of these colleges are a problem. How they're trying to be anti-American. How are you in our country trying to teach people how hateful America is, or how America hates, or how the Republican Party hates black women, hates black men, hates black LGBTQ, hate black babies, hate black this, when the Democratic Party is the ones who hate black babies? They push you to go get an abortion. You got people that stop talking to me. I know this girl stopped talking to me because she said you voted for Trump, and Trump is taking away women reproductive rights, when she was working for FEMA and they had to lay her off because her whole department was stealing all the FEMA money in DC. So I'm just saying stuff like that, it'd be crazy to me because y'all be worried about something that's not true. What reproductive rights did President Trump take away? What makes you think that it's okay to have that you're able to have an abortion all the way up until 9 months? Like, what pleasure does that give you that you decide in your 9th month, you know what? Yeah, yeah, let's abort it. Let's abort it. Yeah, I'm okay with that. And then you want people to be like, yeah. So it's your body, your choice to abort a baby that is a 9-month full term, but you scream and get mad and call anyone uneducated if you did not get the vaccine. That's what I'm saying. It's a mental illness and it's a hypocrisy, and it's dependent on who's saying it. It's about the person who's saying it. If Donald Trump was, I don't know, if he was a Democrat, if he would have never switched because he saw that it got weird over in the Democratic Party side, if he would have never switched and he ran as a Democrat, would it have been okay? So America is a country that's not going to fall. That's why when people come at me and they be like, oh, well, the Republicans is racist, or the Republicans don't care about you, or the Republicans don't care about gay people. I don't look for the Republicans to care about me at all. I'm over here because I'm playing my hand, and my hand is the Republican Party at this moment. It'll never be the Democratic Party at all. So it goes from the Republican to independent, but I will never go the Democratic Party route because the Democratic Party is satanic. You know how disrespectful the Democratic Party is, that they're trying to push the trans woman as the woman of that party, and you got black women who are pissed off at Trump saying that he took their jobs away from them, when you got a whole bunch of trans women trying to take your spot, and you got a lot of these weird men who are having sex with them because that's their fetish. Like, the attack honestly is on y'all being so hateful and bitter towards one specific person, when the Democratic Party is the reason why y'all don't have nothing. And then when you guys do have these jobs where, oh, he's laying all these people off, show me, like Elon did, show me what you have done for them 4 or 5, or you've been there for the last 10 years. What have you done? You guys took advantage of COVID. I'm going to keep it 100 with y'all. Y'all took advantage of COVID. Y'all never went back into work. Y'all never answered that, never picked up that phone. Y'all never cared. Y'all were getting them checks, continue to get them checks. People were getting evicted. People were losing their homes. You couldn't get none of these departments to help a lot of these weirdos in 2019 snuck into government, like AOC and all of them, and right now we are against odds. I'm saying like we are Black America is under attack, and saying and the alpha male is under attack. But when it comes to me, I don't care about the Republican Party not liking me. I know Illinois GOP is not going to back me because they can't tell me how to run my stuff. I know that the GOP, the people who work under the GOP and do those type of things, I know they have no idea what they're doing because they've been losers their whole entire time. I'm not waiting for anybody to teach me how to do my generation of politics when this is a new generation. I've gotten this far by prayer, common sense, critical thinking skills, and making sure as long as I do what I'm supposed to do when it comes to my family and when it comes to anybody else's family. Because like I tell people all the time, if I'm not going to let them do this to my mother, and if I let them continue to do this to my mother, then they're going to do it to anybody else's mother. So I can't allow that to happen. So again, this is my generation of politics. This is how I'm going to politic. People say, well, I've been doing this for 10, 15 years. Okay, and what happened? Clearly it wasn't you. You're not calling. But you get mad at me or get upset at me because we've pushed the needle in this city when it comes to Republican. Y'all want Chicago Fist Red to fail so bad that you're willing to go against Danielle because she's a Republican, and she's running as a Republican, declared as a Republican, because y'all don't want to see the great change that the city is going to have. The change is going to happen regardless. People tired of the same stuff over and over again. There's nothing Brandon Johnson's going to do to make the city better. He can't. He doesn't even know what he's doing. Like I said, he's a foster kid with severe abandonment issues. This guy said today underneath my thing, you want to analyze him like that. That's not your right to analyze him like that. Yes, it is. It definitely is my right to analyze him. He's a mayor of a city. He's a mayor of the third largest city in America. What do you mean? I have every right to analyze this public figure, this lying public figure. He's a politician, a terrible politician, but he's a politician. That's the problem. You got people out here that are in denial, especially black, these Gen X and these boomers and some of these elitists when it comes to these millennials and stuff. But y'all in so much denial because y'all have all this education. Like I said, y'all got all this HBCU education. And look what we got to show for it. Just y'all continue to say that we oppressed and we ain't never going to get off. So y'all, you mean to tell me you're so oppressed that you was able to get a master's, a bachelor's, a master's, and a doctorate's degree, and you still aren't doing nothing in this in our community to help us succeed. We've got all these doctorates, we've got all these PhDs, we've got all these civil rights attorneys. But the only person that y'all keep showing is Ben Crump, who loses all his cases. So I want to play this one more time. If I find it. Because y'all, I got to understand. I got to understand community. Y'all praising these politicians, these political idiots who don't care about black people at all because they don't care about themselves. If you don't care about yourself, you can't care about anybody else. And that's what you're witnessing. You're witnessing a lot of people who feel like, we gotta hold on to the Democratic Party. It's black first. It's black first. We gotta stand. It's all hands on deck. Now, mind you, none of these people stood with me, Ms. Jessica or Danielle, when it came to black first and them taking properties. But now that it's election season, now y'all think that y'all gonna, Yeah, we got to go back with we got to go back with Brandon Johnson. No, we don't. No, we don't. You can go back with Brandon Johnson if you want to, but majority of the city of Chicago has rejected Brandon Johnson. So it doesn't matter all the lies that y'all continue to try to push on him and try to say that he's doing and he's for the people. No, everybody saw what he did.
We will never survive as a group until we get into communities and not neighborhoods. A community is, I control the police, the banks, the schools, the firefighters, and I control the flow of the money. And I have no problem when I go in a Jewish neighborhood and the shop owners are Jewish, and I go into an Italian neighborhood and shop owners are Italian. I have a problem when I come in a black neighborhood and the shop owners is not me. A Korean has a right to come in and buy my shop for $30 million more than it's worth. That's good business. But if we decide that we're not going to do business with that boy, then he'll have to sell it back, or she'll have to sell it back to a black person for $1 million. Yes. And then the money circulates, and that's how you change. We've been so busy dealing with the hurt and the pain and the misery and glamorizing a few that have made it, that we have never really looked at, like they say, your role model. If you haven't got a role model in your house, you should fall on your knees and pray to God, because something is wrong.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's right. You glamorize a handful of people who do not care. And they're not going to care until you push them to finally care, but it's too late. It's too late, and that's what they understand with me. So they try to go around us like we're not making no noise out here, or nobody ain't. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of haters. It's a whole bunch of activist influencer rejects that are in their 50s and 60s who really didn't do nothing but sell out the community for a black vote, or to push or to get somebody in office who did not do nothing for the black community, but they got their little money. Now it's happening again, but because we're here and we did a little and we've really stopped the flow of the sellout money in our communities, because we're pointing out who the sellouts are, from the church to the politics, to the business world, to the nonprofit world, to the influencers, to the political influencers, that they trying to speak down on me or say that I'm a criminal and all that. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about none of that. People just mad because I was not scared to point out exactly where the corruption is and take you to it. Because as a former scammer, that's how I realized they was stealing. I'm like, y'all sitting here. I'm like, this is crazy how y'all evicting all these people off the south side and west side to put these illegals in here in 2023. I'm watching you launder the rest of the Invest Southwest money in my face. I'm watching y'all steal TIF money like crazy. But where you draw the line at? Draw the line at is, we can't do Republican, man. We got to stick together. We got to stick together. Why would I stick together with any of y'all who's okay with selling out the community? The only reason why right now y'all don't even know what to do. Y'all really confused because y'all just automatically thought that Kamala Harris was going to get in office, and because Kamala Harris did not get in office, y'all really don't know y'all don't know where to go, left to right, right to left, any of those things. Y'all don't know how to play politics, because if y'all did, you knew she wasn't getting up in there. The city of Chicago it's just the blues just it's just not as colored anymore. You know, blue, they had blue for a long time. It's just not as color anymore. You understand? Y'all took a y'all took some pages out of you took some pages out of Daly's playbook, like the TIF money, because that that they said the TIF money was Daly's piggy bank. And so they're doing the same thing. These aldermen, y'all stealing the TIF money, funneling it back, and now they're trying to play with the FOIA papers and all those things. People starting to FOIA more now, and people are starting to see these things, and they pissed. They mad that the machine is done. The machine is done. So it's up to us to build it back to where it's for the people. It's for the residents of the city. Anybody that wants to play business in these politics and stuff, that's cool, but not with our tax dollar. If you're trying to bring revenue to the city, if you're trying to bring jobs with great pay to the city, then yeah. But as soon as that private company gets diluted in public funds, it goes down to them being a slumlord of a corporation CEO. So we have to explain, not even explain, because I've explained it. We have to come out in droves and vote for the people who are going to work for you, who understands they're going to work for you. These people out here are paying Lexa Janulius, Susana Mendoza, Cardenas, whatever his name is, Mike Quigley, so far, Matt Brewer. So they paying people $2 to $5 to get their signatures. Danielle is out there. She's out there because she wants to talk to the people. That's the problem. Now I see, some of them trying to be out there now, acting like they, for the people, but y'all not. Y'all were okay. Like I said, right? Like I said, and this is real talk. Let's see. I'm gonna end it with this. Yeah, they'd be so mad. Dang, I was talking this whole time. All right, y'all. Did y'all even hear when I talked about this? Probably not. So let me go back. All right. So this is a Haitian immigrant who was adopted. His family did not want to have nothing to do with him, and he has had a chip on his shoulder ever since. Okay. She is the comptroller. She writes all the checks for all the mess that's been happening in this city. And they say when she gets mad or gets upset, she takes your state income check. This is what they said. I don't know if it's true or not. This is just what a couple of people have told me when it came to their state check, their state income tax check. She takes it. Then you got George Cardenas, who was an alderman, and then he's over there in tax assessor. They're not assessing anything. I don't even know why he's even in no race. And then you got Janulius, bank robber Janulius. Well, not bank robber. What he did is his family took off with that money too. They had to shut it down. And then he went over to get this Secretary of State job. And he also got to be an undercover gay, because they all are undercover and weird and gay and got this fetish when it comes to, that's why they want to push this trans woman situation, because as long as they dress up as a woman, I guess they're a woman, right? So anyway, he's pushed out all of Jesse White workers and has been pushing all white LGBTQ people in Secretary of State. But these are all immigrants. This man has a chip on his shoulder. His family, his parents did not want him. So because his parents did not want him, they probably could have been on drugs. I don't know. But to make a long story short, his parents didn't want him. He has a vendetta. That's why he don't care about these kids running around or doing anything like that, because nobody wasn't checking on him. See, he didn't have no parents checking on him. And then so then when he did get into the foster care, got into a foster care family, because a lot of people be doing foster care just to get the extra money too. They don't care nothing about them kids. When it came to that situation, his foster pastor father that y'all keep claiming that is his father, which is not, and everybody knows that. He even knows that's not his father. Should have got him some therapy at a young age because of that, of that. But he knew how to play the game. He's a narcissist. People want to circle back and give him another chance, and that's just not going to happen. So none of these people do not have the best interests of Chicago at all, that I know for sure. So, but no, Mendoza is never going to be good. Mendoza is the comptroller. A lot of the money the checks that went out for these illegal aliens and stuff, she signed them. No. All these people are going to care about is their own kind, and then whoever is going to kiss their butts or enslave them. No, they don't need to be in office at all. Nobody doesn't even want to discuss the illegal immigration. Like, they don't want to discuss the New Americans plan. All they want to say is all we do is kill each other, shoot at each other, rob each other. We don't care. All right, cool. I'm giving y'all that. So we want the National Guard to come in here. Now y'all don't even want to push for the National Guard. So if we're at no point of return, if black kids are at no point of return, then why we can't have the National Guard come in here? Because the resources that y'all saying that you're giving these kids, you're not giving the kids. A lot of people say it's plenty of resources out here. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not plenty of resources out here for the third largest city. Y'all literally have taken everything out of our of the communities. And then we have messed them up too. No, I'm not going to sit here and say we haven't, but we don't replace it. We don't replace it at all. We don't replace any other thing. So like that's the problem. So once we mess it up, it's just done and over with. We don't get no more chances. They you know how many times they riot downtown and mess up Louis Vuitton store, they mess up the Macy's store, all those things, and they put it back together. So what's the difference between our communities? It can't be put back together, or in any other community. If some type of destruction happens, why can't they're able to put it back together, but we're the only ones that's not be able to put it back together? Nah, I'm tired of that. Y'all literally are talking over the children. Y'all are literally saying what's best for the children instead of going into the trenches and seeing what they want and what they need, which is a cry for help, because y'all simply ignored them during COVID. Y'all simply ignored them during a lot of things. Y'all do not care. Y'all do not care. All y'all care about is whatever y'all personally need at the time. So y'all willing to sell out your endorsement and get y'all the group of people who follow you because they trust your mindset, because they think that you're for the people, but you not at all. You're for making sure your bills are paid, making sure that you have vacation money, make sure that you got money in your pocket, you got your business going. But when it comes to everybody else trying to eat, for some reason y'all just continue to pick the same selfish people. No. So yeah. And then it could be like I said, is misogynistic as well. A lot of these black men, there's a lot of white men too, but a lot of these black men are mad that I'm a woman, that Danielle is a woman, and that we are in the forefront. We're supposed to be behind y'all and letting y'all lead, and y'all leading us to sell out land. Because y'all willing to sell out, because y'all got a vendetta and hate everybody. That's the problem. Y'all corny. Y'all has-beens. And again, you have to let the new generation come in, because the new generation know who's full of it and who's not. The new generation knows who wants to see them succeed and who doesn't. They don't want to continue to hear about these revolutionary stories when y'all not doing anything revolutionary to continue to keep these kids, to make sure they have the best education, make sure that they have the best resources in their communities, in their homes. There's, if there should be not one CPS student living in the shelters. So for y'all to be pushing for this teacher who's set to get a $5 million pension, Brandon Johnson, for y'all to continue to push him and push what he's trying to do, and he hasn't done anything, makes me look at you. And it's going to always continue to make me look at you, because it is literally something wrong with you to continue to follow anybody that believes that Brandon Johnson is a good person, because he's not in anybody that's around him is not a good person either. That's pushing for him to get another term. So they want me to stop talking about him. They want me to not bring up what a comptroller is supposed to do, which was Susanna Mendoza. Not supposed to bring up what Alexi did. You don't want to bring up, but y'all can bring up my mugshot every 5 minutes. I don't care. Y'all can bring up what y'all say now. What's it? The new thing is the PPP loan or whatever. I mean, I have a business. I didn't go make up a business. That's the problem. You understand? Like, that's what y'all are mad at. Y'all are mad at that stuff. All my old ways when I was younger, yeah, they're gone. Yeah, they're gone. So that's why I don't have a problem speaking out against what, as a person who used to get locked up and things, why I say is why these kids need the National Guard to come here first. When they even thought that the National Guard was going to come here, when all the politicians and everybody was fighting against them coming here, it wasn't not one person got shot. Not one person got shot. Not one person got mugged. Everybody stayed in the house. Everybody was spending their crime intervention money that they stealing. So yeah. So I'm gonna end it with this. I'm gonna come back on here later on because I'm gonna talk about the crime intervention money that's linked to, my man. I'm gonna get all that down. I'm probably gonna come on around 7 o'clock to talk about that. But yeah, so Dick Gregory says, he used to always tell me the last year, the year that he passed away, to save myself. He said, because something is wrong with us. And every day I agree more and more with that. But I don't mind helping anybody that wants to come with us, because at the end of the day, a lot of people know it's a problem, it's an issue. The problem is the issue. He was at the height of the civil rights movement when he ran for president and when he ran for mayor of Chicago as an independent. If you guys truly wanted to be independent, then he would have got in there. And y'all and you guys didn't. You guys went with everybody else but him. So yeah. But other than that, we just gotta pray, man, because there's a lot of people out here that's just sick, and gonna continue to be sick because that's just what it is. Oh man. But yeah. Anyway. These people crazy. So sad. Yeah, pray for him, man. But anyway, yeah. Stuff like that, you like you said, you got to save yourself, and you do. We are so caught up with emotions. I believe that we're indoctrinated in entertainment. I have never been a TV person because my mother was a TV person. So me and my sisters, we don't really watch TV like that. But I listen to music. My mother's from Chicago, so growing up, I had the best of the Chicago music, and then my sister, who's 20 years older than me, when she went to high school here not here, but in New York, she listened to house music, New York house music, and Chicago music. So yeah. But it is what it is. So when you gotta listen, when you gotta figure out certain things, when you gotta think, when you just can't let anybody just tell your story. So I listen to music. Music is where my message is. I don't watch the news. The news gets more pathetic every day. Like, it's shootings every day going on, and they know it. They know it. It's being reported. You've got independent people out there like Sub X News, CWB, John Hawthorne, Crime Chasers. You've got all these people. You have real life people that are saying that every other person you go to is a problem. Every other person you go to is a problem. So I don't know, man. I just know that when you go to somebody who brought it to my attention yesterday, I was speaking to somebody, and sorry, I'm gonna delete all these weird ass people. That's a pet peeve of mine. But yeah, anyway, even though I got 120 people watching me, you don't know I got all my stuff going. Someone says that some lady I spoke to yesterday, and she was a boomer. She said that she's running into a lot of parents who have lost their kids to gun violence. That's not normal, and you're not going to normalize that, and we're not going to normalize that. So it is what it is. So we're not going to continue to normalize any of these things, just like we're not going to normalize the black oppression scam. We're not going to normalize these sorry politicians. We're not going to normalize these sorry black pastors and priests and white priests and the religion that's starting to be demonic, because all y'all care about is money. It's money, 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 money. Y'all don't care about the message. Y'all have no fear in God whatsoever, because if y'all had some type of fear in God, y'all would not be pushing half the stuff that y'all are pushing in these churches. I mean, that's just common sense. When you go into the church, you coming in there to listen to the word. You're not going in there to listen to politics. You're not going in there to listen about sexual orientations. You're not going in there to listen. You listen to the word and the message and the gospel. That's what you're going to listen to. The music. If you go to a church with a good what they call the people who sing. But those things. I can't want to keep saying chorus. No, choir. Yeah, you go to if they have good choir, all of those things. But to go into church and then you immediately start talking about politics, start talking about racism, start talking about oppression. What is y'all talking about? I came in here to get the word. What is the word of the day? What is the scripture of the day, Pastor? What does politics have to do with that in church? Like, outside of church, you want to debate that? Cool. But inside the church, everybody ain't on that political wave, and you're not going to sit here and try to push certain things that you have pushed in it. This is what irritates me about church these days. How you're confusing and pushing our elders one way, but growing up, you taught them another way when it came to the homosexuality thing. So you got these people all confused because you want to bring in certain things when it matters, when it personally affects you in that Bible. A pastor, a priest, or anyone that is a minister or teaching the word needs to stay on the word. It's like a referee. It's like a referee. You know, you're there to make sure that no one doesn't get hurt, and to call out things when it's time to regulate, right? When it's a sports game or whatever. In church, you are supposed to call out when it comes to people judging, when it comes to hate. God didn't just love one particular group of people. God loves all. God takes care of babies and God takes care of fools. So you're not going to sit here and push one part of the Bible and then the other part it's just an issue. Like, y'all, I'm starting to see like that's all y'all care about, and it's irritating to me because people's personal decisions and choices in life, that's between them, God, and whoever else is a part of that. When it comes to what your role in life is to not judge, is to not push vices on people that they're not into. You're not supposed to make anybody feel uncomfortable when it comes to religion, especially in America where our religion is at. So it's like I say, I don't know if we're dealing with hypocrites, hypocrisy. So I don't know if we're dealing with hypocrisy, racism, misogynistic, people being misogynistic, people being racist and prejudice, or just straight out clout. Whatever is the new flavor of the year or the new flavor of the time, we're just gonna run after it, and it's sickening. I see it with our group. They thought that we weren't going to be able to make it this far, and we're still standing, and we're only getting stronger. And that is because the hate that we have within each other and our communities. So if Black America goes back to this, if Black Americans understood their power in America, we'll be all right. So that's the issue. So we should be very happy to be who we are unapologetically, like all these illegals that came over here and set up shop unapologetically in America. They love the American money. They love the to come over here and ride off our resources and don't give back to the community. But we're arguing with each other about red and blue, blue and red, red and blue, blue and red. I have to argue with you about my political choices. I identify as a Republican when it comes to Chicago and these politics. Okay, I identify as Republican when it comes to y'all trying to push LGBTQ into these communities. I identify as a Republican if you think that y'all gonna disrespect my biological mother, who's a biological woman who biologically had me. You out your crazy mind because y'all trying to make the trans woman the new woman because y'all have a fetish because y'all gay. And you want to bring everybody else into y'all weird gay world and push it in everything because for the shock factor, that's number one, and for the money that's behind it when it comes to these studies. You know how weird America got that y'all were trying to test to see if monkeys was gay and frogs and gay and animals is gay and stuff. Like what type of like the thing? Okay, another one. Ban you. Yeah, nigga, you're still blind. That's the problem. I can be Republican. I can be Republican. Just like y'all can be independent, y'all can be Democrat. The fact that y'all trying to push your ideology on people is crazy. That's why y'all ain't never going to get nowhere with me. Y'all going to lose every time with me because this is my mind. This is my mindset. This is my research that I did. Y'all think I watched a bunch of Hispanics come over here and try to push that they were here first. I also heard them say that they had a Latino Underground Railroad. Like, y'all just trying to create anything and everything to try to be a part of something that's just not simply true. So y'all can say fuck whoever y'all want to be, fuck this, fuck that, but at the end of the day, I'm going to be whatever I choose to be in life. Okay. If I think that politics is working for me so far, the way that I've built my political machine to go against this corrupt machine is the issue. So yeah. Do not care. No, that's the issue. Yeah, but anyway. All right, y'all. We're gonna end it up with this one thing. I'm gonna let that person crash out, and then once I'm done, I'm gonna block him because I don't want to hear that crap. These motherfuckers, they got a mind of their own. Where we at? Dick right here. I love to end it with this. Right out.
All right, folks, we continue our post-election analysis, talking to with our Wisdom of the Elders segment. And so we had Reverend Jackson on Monday, Clarence Jones, MLK's attorney on Tuesday, joining us today, civil rights activist, comedian, Dick Gregory. How you doing, my brother?
I'm fantastic, having fun.
Absolutely.
Feel good.
This path forward. Yes. Folks are apoplectic, upset, mad, angry.
Anytime you vote for the lesser of the two evils, you evil yourself. That's how Hitler came to power. Okay? We don't see that. But you got to be evil. Here's a guy who rapes a woman once a month, another guy rapes a woman once a day, and you got to pick one to babysat for you. You're evil. And that's what America, that's how Hitler came to power. See, few people know Hitler won that election by 288 votes. Okay? And almost wiped the world out. So you can get by with that with the church, but you can't get by with that with the universe that made the moon, the sun, and the stars. And that's where we are.
You got people who are concerned in terms of where do we go from here?
You don't go nowhere. It's not your business. Not your business. If you ever saw Trump's television shows, brilliant. So how you get so stupid all at once? If I went to apply for a job collecting garbage, they would ask me to bring in my last year's tax return. You run for president, you don't have to bring his in, and y'all tolerate it and don't know where it's going? That's what it's about. That's what it's about.
What do you say to that activist, to that young person, to that elder who's saying, okay, what do I do for the next 4 years?
You can do nothing. You're not going to make 4 years. This country won't make 4 years. It's over.
Now, when you say it's over, what does that mean?
It means decline. The Romans, the Greeks, the Egyptians, all of them fell. Okay? All of them fell. You see it.
So what should we do? Because Jim over here talks about the resistance.
Please.
They had a resistance with even going against Hitler.
Please. The Jews didn't know what Hitler was doing. Okay. Our problem is we think we're part of this government, and you're not.
Yes, sir.
We want to take the Democrats and Republicans, but when Condoleezza Rice came in, she had more PhDs than the whole administration had, and they called her Condi. They never called Madam Maddie. See, there's a soda pop darker than her called Dr. Pepper. If you go get one, you better call it by its title, or they give you a chili pepper. That's what it's about.
You look at the people who he's already putting on his transition team, and it's amazing to me watching mainstream media lose their mind. Oh my goodness. And I'm sitting there going, he made it clear what he said during the campaign, what he was going to do. Why y'all acting shocked now?
Yeah, but my mother was the same way. She went to the doctor and she said, if you find cancer, don't tell me. That's what white Americans do. If you find it, don't tell me. They didn't just get like that all at once. You got high school students marching, huh? The question needs to be asked, how y'all leave school with no permit, huh? Because if you had a child on one of those marches and they got killed by a car, the school got to pay you. That's not your easy thing to do, but they did, huh? Marched by the White House, and nobody saying anything. Principal told them to go out and demonstrate in the playground. No. Everything you seeing, something's wrong with it. Okay, something's wrong with it.
Do you think that we're going to continue to see more of these protests? They've been happening every single day all across the country.
Yeah, because most of them are staged. You know, I've been protesting all my life. I got 10 children, 13 grandchildren. They just don't get up one morning and say, I'm going to demonstrate. The easiest thing in the world, find out what a child going to do, because they talk. I mean, we're stupid enough in America to believe the Ku Klux Klan determined public policy. Most of them can't read. Most of them can't write. And when I got ready to run away from slavery, the sheriff gonna ask me for my letter from Gotcha P. I just take any letter because they couldn't read. Show it to them. This is what this is about. But we so filthy ourselves, huh? I spent millions of dollars. Walk out with my life. I got to go too. I'm just as dirty as they are. When I get on the plane next week and go to Budapest, round trip, first class, $42,000. I pay tax on that, which buys bullets, which drop on little children. So when they fall on your children, why are you upset? That's what this is about.
Jim.
Well, this is a moment where racial bigotry and autocracy come together. That's why the moment is so, he's a racial bigot and an autocrat. So I think we need a pledge of resistance. I think clergy need to go to sheriff's offices and say, if you're not going to be held accountable by Washington, clergy will hold you accountable for your policing in this town. When they register Muslims, Christians and Jews should be in line registering as Muslims. When they want to arrest undocumented people, we should force them to arrest them inside our churches and not home alone. There's got to be a pledge of resistance.
In fact, you see the police chief in LA who said, we're not going to help you when it comes to rounding up
the mayor of Minneapolis said last night, we're not going to help you. So we got to do resistance. So to me, it's faith, resistance, healing, yes, but you start with resistance. This is a moment for resistance, and we all got to make our own pledge of resistance.
Kickstart your day at 7 and get the news you need.
Now, I agree with some of that, but now if God rest his soul, but if Baba was here now, he would definitely have changed his tune. And the reason why I'll say that, because he's not afraid to say when he's made a mistake. There's a book out there that he made. Let me see if I can find the book. This is the book, right? So in this book, he says that he wished that he can rewrite the book because the book in here he speaks about the soybean and soy milk is good for black for it's not good for black men. They're starting to get, at the time he was saying they were starting to get breasts, and it was not basically it didn't align with men's hormones. So he says that he regrets that he put that in there because after doing more research, he realized that the soybean is not good for black men. And probably not good for men in general, but he has said black men. And so I know that now after this was a year that he actually passed away too. That was 2017. When he did that interview with it was 2017, 2016. Yeah, 2016. I think it was 2017. I got to look to see when that was. But anyway, I remember when Roland Martin's Booker reached out to us for him to do that show. But yeah, so so he definitely agreed. I mean, so he definitely said that he didn't like that. So me saying that to say that he will, if it was wrong, he didn't have an issue with saying that, back then what he learned versus now. So I think that if he was alive now and he would have seen after COVID and after the COVID situation, the election fraud, because they did the same thing to Dick Gregory when it came to Pennsylvania when he was running for president. I think if he would have saw all of that, seen all of what Trump was up against and stuff, his tune would have changed. And then they probably would have called him senile and crazy and old, and he don't know what he's talking about and things like that, because he had his stuff when he said about Obama. He hit the target. He hit the target on a lot of things, but the older that he was getting, they tried to make it he didn't know what he was talking about, or he was getting senile or old. But it's nah, he been around. That man was born in 1932. He's seen the good, the bad, the ugly when it came to politics, when it came to Hoover, FBI, when it came to the CIA, when it came to the presidents, when it came to the entertainment world, when it came to the health and wellness world, when it came to him getting burned, when it came to certain book deals and stuff like the book Nigger that he made, so he saw it all, from Playboy to Herman Roberts, it's to Daley to MLK to Malcolm X, Jim Brown to Muhammad Ali to Bob Marley to Michael Jackson. I mean, we can go on and on and on and on. That man was a genius, and he taught me a lot. So I watched that Roland Martin a lot because the part that really syncs with me is the stage protests that you see that's happening all over on the Democratic Party side. It's the Democratic Party who is pushing for this narrative and this revolution that they're trying to push to help the entertainment world with Robert De Niro and all them. They're trying to push it, and the same with everything is against Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the dictator. Donald Trump is the Nazi. Donald Trump is Hitler. Donald Trump is that. Donald Trump is a person that 77 million people voted for because they saw the BS themselves, what you took us personally through, and again, how you pushed for illegal immigration on top of prioritizing illegal aliens, illegal immigrants, migrants, whatever word that y'all want to use, on top of us, knowing that when these people come into our communities, they do not give back. There's too many foreigners in our communities that set up shop in our communities, and our communities still look the way that they look. They just started hiring Black people. I starting to see a little bit more Black people starting to be hired in these places because they know that people are talking about it and people are starting to see it. All right, bye. Get you up out of here. Oh, people crazy. People crazy. Anybody that believe that election, that Donald Trump stole that election, is people that I don't want to have nothing to do with, because y'all don't have no common sense and y'all don't lack common sense. So I'm good. Like that stuff right there. It's crazy how people are delusional, but it is what it is. Y'all just hate this man and hate him for no reason. That's the crazy thing. I wish you well too. Peace. Peace. Crazy. But I tell you, people get on my goddamn nerves because y'all just cannot be this delusional, man. Like, cannot be this delusional. The hate that people have for Donald Trump is crazy, but don't have this hate for Daley. Daley was terrible. Richard Daley was terrible. Let me tell you, put this Richard Daley out. Y'all crazy as hell. That's why y'all out here slowly dying. Because y'all just it's gotta go, it's going to y'all heads, man. It's going to y'all heads. Tell you this. We paying out billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. Billions of dollars because of the torture scandal that he did with John Burgess. Nobody don't never want to discuss that. Everybody think this is cool. That's why everybody right now is against the police and stuff like that, because of people like this man right here that he was okay with. He was okay with that man torturing and doing all those things. Just like y'all was okay with him knocking down the projects. I mean, y'all crazy. Y'all continue to do the same thing over and over again, and y'all keep talking about Trump. Nah, the real racists is people like this man right here, Daley and his daddy. You know, they may not have been, you know, they probably did what they had to do to, you know, when it came to certain people, but also they killed a lot of people too. Like, y'all can sit here and play them games all y'all want to. Somebody got mad yesterday because I said that Trump commuted Larry Hoover, which he did, and it's J.B. Pritzker. Now J.B. Pritzker has to be the one to pardon him, to get him up out of there, right? A person who's under John Burgess' thing calls me all types of the N-word and says, this is what Chicago, Chicago Fifth Red is for Larry Hoover. They're for Larry Hoover. But you're for this man torturing all them black and brown people and locked them up. And then now we're paying billions of dollars. We're paying money out for all of these wrongfully convicted people, these people who have lost their everlasting mind. I've talked to 2 or 3 of them. Their mind is all the way somewhere else. It don't matter the amount of money that you get in people. They lost their whole teenage life, the rest of their teenage life, their adult life. You don't know what the things that they've went in there with their grandparents and parents have passed away while they were in there, and you want to praise this man who y'all crazy as hell. And y'all crazy as hell because y'all think that I'm gonna be crazy with y'all. Y'all might as well go ahead and try to see how much y'all gotta spend to kill me, because I'm not gonna stop talking. I'm not gonna stop talking at all. And I'm not gonna not talk about everybody that played a role in making Black Chicago continue to be the continue to suffer the way that it's suffering. Let me get a better picture. Get a better picture of this man who was absolutely terrible. This man right here, terrible, terrible. Absolutely terrible. He may have some good, he may have had some good moments, but trash. A racist, white, Chicago, Irish Democrat that did not care about no CPS children at all. He messed up the CPS school system with the help of they say Paul Vallis, and then you got to deal with the Arnie Duncans and the school and all the people. Then Mary Richardson Lowry he put over the school board, all that stuff. He has his little black girlfriend or whatever, but other than that, you already know they always got their one black token or one person that they. Oh, I'm not racist because I've dated a black girl, or I've fell in love with a black girl. Okay, Thomas Jefferson. I don't know what y'all want us to praise, but all I do know is that y'all are done. It's crazy how y'all are living. Y'all living in a delusional time, and y'all think that people are going to continue to play this delusional game with y'all because y'all are unaware because y'all refuse to do the research. Y'all refuse to really look at both parts. Y'all refuse to acknowledge COVID and how COVID was trash. Y'all refuse to acknowledge any of that. That's y'all problem, man. That's y'all problem. And y'all gonna continue to be brainwashed. You know what the young kids say to me? And I hate that. I hate when they say it, but sometimes it's that they gonna have to die off. They like man, this generation, like the boomers, some of the X's, they just gonna have to die off because they brainwashed. They too busy. They are brainwashed. It ain't no, and I hate to say that because I know that they're all not brainwashed. That's why I'm patient when it comes to my elders and patient when it comes to some of Gen X. They just out here unaware. They're just out here unaware, and they want them to continue to be unaware and blame it on everybody else. For the people who hate Trump, he commuted Larry Hoover's sentence, and y'all have not said nothing about it. It's been over a year, but y'all continue to push everything else about him. He said that he would get the National Guard here. So he's pushing for the National Guard. Y'all don't want the National Guard here, but y'all also don't want Larry Hoover out. Y'all are okay with the crime. Y'all are okay that mentally our kids are just out of control. Y'all are okay for the teen riots. Y'all are okay that our education system is failing. Y'all are okay with these kids going committing these crimes over and over again and continue to get out. You're okay with our businesses closing. You're okay with all of this stuff as long as it's fitting y'all narrative and y'all pockets. Y'all weird. Y'all are super weird. Y'all got to get better. So when her thesis comes out and when her research paper is over, I am going to share it for everybody and go from there. And yeah, that's about it. Peace. Danielle Carter Walters for Mayor 2027. Please register to vote. If you have not signed her petition and you want to sign her petition, please let me know and I'll personally come to you. Thank you.